Mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with a thunderous round of applause, please welcome our chief guest, former President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, our guest of honor, Shri Anand Sharmaji, Deputy Leader Congress, and Chairman Hero Enterprise, Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal. Can we have a round of applause for our dignitaries? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 14th BML Munjal Awards. First and foremost, I request each and every one of us to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा
द्राविड उत्कल बंग
विंध्य हिमाचल
यमुना गंगा
उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे
तब शुभ आशीष मांगे
गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगल गायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Ladies and gentlemen, BML Munjal Awards are one of the most prestigious awards of India. And here we have a short AV to give you an insight as to what it's all about, what the journey is all about. Now I'd request our Chairman, Hero Enterprise, Shri Sunil Kant Munjal ji, to kindly address the gathering and give us an insight about BML Munjal Awards.
Shri Pranab Mukherjee, Shri Anand Sharma, ladies and gentlemen, a special and warm welcome to all of you to the BML Munjal Awards. And I want to say a special thank you to my mother who's here today. This is an award which was started after a conversation with my father. Sitting in his office, we were having this conversation one day, that there are so many awards in India, which recognize companies who do well in production, in turnover, in profitability, in exports, etc., etc. But rarely do we recognize companies in India who focus on people as a strategy and whose business actually benefits from this strategy. Whereas the reality is, all of this is eventually only about people. We were just about starting the Mindmine Summit at that point in time. So we said, why do we not, in this initiative itself, start a set of awards to recognize these very companies who excel because of their focus and accent on people. As was his style, he's saying it's a good idea. And when we suggested that we would like to name them on his name, he immediately said, no, not on my name. We should not be talking about ourselves. So that was very normal for him. We kind of insisted and got him to agree that we would like to use his name. And this has happened 2 or 3 times. The same thing happened when we were starting the university a few years ago. As you know, sir, we started the BML Munjal University 5 years ago, which has now been rated the most innovative university in India and amongst the highest and most experiential curriculums in the world. And the attempt there too was to try and bring his value system, his philosophy, the culture with which he lived his life into teaching and education. For him, it was normal, everyday life. But the more we looked at it, the more we kind of tried to study it, it was like a textbook available to us all the time. We obviously did not appreciate it in the same manner at that time, but I've just completed writing a book, and now that I've actually done this study, it is uncanny how 50 or 60 or 70 years ago, practices were started which are now considered the most contemporary corporate governance practices around the world, all of them. And this, I think, is what makes this award special. I will later on request the chair of the jury to tell us a little bit about this award. But this continuously over the last 13 years has recognized companies both in the private sector and the public sector, large and not so large, and now increasingly looking at companies which are setting the new benchmark for startups using technology or other innovative means to deliver products and services which have a felt need. This award is also our way of saying thank you to those who contribute to nation building, the companies, their leaders, and the people behind these companies. It is therefore not an award for HR. It is not an award for the IR department. It is an award for the leadership of the company, for the head of the company, which is also why we request, in most cases they do come, the chairman, CEOs, or MDs of the companies to come in and participate in this event. So I want to thank many of you who are here this evening. The process is becoming increasingly harder because the companies are actually getting better and better at this. This process is run independently by Grant Thornton with a support team from our side and an amazing set of individuals from different companies, from different disciplines who come in and help to collate all of this and also do the assessment and the actual selection itself. So compliments and congratulations to the many award winners. Good wishes to those who did not get there, because we did appreciate many of the practices there. And to you, sir, a big thank you. You have been a big supporter, both of the initiatives that we have in our think tank, and also on our education side, and also on the business side. You dedicated the university to the nation when you were the president at Rashtrapati Bhavan, which was highly appreciated by the students, the faculty, and all of us. And Mr. Anand Sharma, you are a wonderful friend, both personally and to us as an organization. I want to thank you for being available to participate in our events on multiple occasions. And we do appreciate the intellect and the energy that you bring each time you come to one of our events. So ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a short, crisp event. Please enjoy the evening. This is an evening of celebration, evening of recognition, evening to focus on merit, excellence, and the ethos and philosophy of India and Indians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about BML Munjal Awards, it takes quite a lot of thinking to come up with the winners. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of passion, and a lot of insight goes into the whole process. And to give us a brief idea as to what the process is all about, may I now invite one of our esteemed jury members, Mr. Saurabh Srivastav, co-founder of NASSCOM, Thai and Indian Angel Networks, to kindly come and give us an insight. Can we have a round of applause for sir? My apologies, he's the chair of the jury. Can we have a round of applause for sir?
Honorable President Shri Mukherjee, Shri Sharma, Mr. Munjal, a very good evening to you and all the guests who have assembled here. You know, these awards are in their 14th year, and as you would expect, there's tremendous rigor and robustness to the selection process. Now, these are amongst the most coveted and the most aspirational awards, so everybody wants to be in on it. And this year, it started with an initial set of 150 companies. And at the first step, they were really judged on business excellence. Those that made this cut moved to level 2. At the level 2, now they were judged on their initiatives in learning and development, which is what these awards are about. And they, along with knowledge partners Grant Thornton and a team of experts that was just talked about, candidates were now shortlisted. There were 5 different categories: private sector manufacturing, private sector services, public sector. Then there was startups, or you might say emerging stars. And then those companies who had won previous awards for sustained excellence. The team of experts, helped by Grant Thornton, basically shortlisted 2 to 3 candidates on each. Then all of us in the jury got a chance to listen to them. They came and actually presented. And before they presented, of course, there had been some due diligence done. There were financial checks. There was background checks. So there were all kinds of steps that had been taken. So I would say, as a jury, we had a task that was made substantially easy for us. The quality of diligence, the quality of information, the way the presentations were made our task much easier in one way. At another level, it was very hard. In almost every category, we found it hard to choose a winner. Almost in every category, we thought perhaps there should be 2. And in one category, in sustained excellence, we really could not decide on a winner. So we do have 2 winners. So I would just say to all of you that on behalf of the jury, it was a pleasure for us. We enjoyed doing the selection. We learned a lot from the companies that presented. And it was very informational for us to see the great things that were happening. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would request you to please join me over here. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our esteemed jury members. First and foremost, Mr. Vishesh Chandok, CEO, Grant Thornton, our knowledge partner for the awards. Can we have a round of applause for sir? Mr. Errol D'Souza, Director, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Mr. Anil Chaudhary, President and Managing Director, Schneider Electric India. Mr. K. Ganesh, Serial Entrepreneur, Partner, Growth Story. And of course, we have Mr. Saurabh Srivastav, co-founder of NASSCOM, Thai and Indian Angel Networks. Mr. Atul Sopti, Director General Scope, former CMD and BHEO. A huge round of applause. Come on, they deserve it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give you an insight as to who the winner is and where do they come from. One by one, I'm going to invite our jury members and they'll present their particular section. The awards will be distributed after the announcements. So kindly bear with us. First and foremost, would request Mr. Vishesh Sanjog to kindly take the podium. Can we have a round of applause for sir? Ladies and gentlemen, the first category is the private services category. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to be associated with these awards. On behalf of my organization, Grant Thornton, I'd like to thank Mr. Munjal and the entire jury for the deliberations. As we heard from Mr. Munjal, from Mr. Srivastav, for every winner, there also has to be a runners-up. And ladies and gentlemen, the runners-up in this category is L&T Technology Services. Please do put your hands together for the runners-up. And the winner, now, I'll just say a little bit about the winner. You know, the winner in this category, private sector services, it was a government department. And that government department was transformed into a private sector entity. That government department not only retained those individuals, it also helped upskill them and redeploy them, make them more customer focused. It integrated its CSR plan with its corporate objectives, with that customer-facing objective, and actually worked with 800 women in the rural areas to align them to that corporate objective. The winner is in the business of power distribution, and as you know, losses on transmission are a very significant issue in that business. It managed over a period of 5 years by getting those women, 800 women, to act as change agents to reduce the power transmission losses from what was 53% to only 8% over that 5-year period. Ladies and gentlemen, you have already put your hands together. The winner in this category is Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mr. Errol D'Souza. Ladies and gentlemen, the next category is private manufacturing.
Okay, so this is in private sector manufacturing. The runners-up in this category is Bosch Limited. Please put your hands together. And the winners in this category is to a company which aligned its learning and development needs with its business goals by focusing on technical skill development, setting up cross-functional breakthrough improvement teams, and investing in leadership capability development. The winner is Aurobindo Pharma.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next we have Mr. Anil Chaudhary. The category is PSU.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to announce the 14th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development, the runner-ups in PSU category. This is ONGC Mangalore Petrochemicals Limited. Going on to the winner, I think this is a very, very great story which when we got the presentation from this organization in the public sector category, and especially the organization which actually set the face of NBFCs in India. And that is SIDBI Limited. I think SIDBI is reinventing itself as a dynamic lending institution, making thinking investments in people with business outcomes. It's heartening that a government-promoted organization is seeking to unlearn the past, explore new opportunities, and position itself as a people-centered credit organization by looking both inwards and outwards. Noting this, we were very pleased to award this category to Sidvi. Congratulations, Sidvi. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. Up next, we have Mr. K. Ganesh. Ladies and gentlemen, this category is Emerging Star.
Thank you. We had a tough time in emerging star categories to choose the winners. The runners-up in this category is Zerodha, a financial services company that's transforming broking with new discount broking models and technology excellence. Congratulations, Zerodha, for the runners-up award. The winner in the category is something that will warm all our hearts. This is India's first restaurant chain that exclusively employs speech and hearing impaired staff across its 3 restaurants. They are a business success too. They turned profitable in the 4th month of operation. Their ability to convert a challenge into a business opportunity shows that businesses can be good by doing good. So, in recognition of the effort to build a truly inclusive workplace, the ability to skill and empower people who otherwise face great challenges in life, and link into business success and a business challenge, the jury is very pleased to confer the 14th BML Munjal Award for Emerging Category to Square Meal Foods Private Limited. Give them a big hand.
Thank you, sir. Up next, we have Mr. Saurabh Srivastav.
Well, this is the category that I talked about earlier, where we had so much difficulty selecting a winner that we had joint winners. But first, let me call out the runners-up in this category, Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Please give them a hand. So in the winner, we have 2 joint winners today. I will just talk about the first. This is a company which is in the IT arena, and therefore it's an area where technology obsolescence is absolutely rapid. This is a company that has therefore had a sustained focus and a huge focus on learning and development to ensure that all of its employees stay relevant, evolve, and achieve both their personal goals and those of the organization. And the result of this sustained focus has had several benefits. So compared to competition, this company, as you would expect, has the lowest attrition of employees. The second, all IT service companies have struggled with their transformation into the digital arena. This company has moved faster than almost all of its competition in this arena. Third, it has shown consistent growth in revenues and profits, again, well ahead of its competition. And the last one, which is also very important, it has shown consistent increase in shareholder value. So just to give you an idea, on certain days, depending on the stock market valuation, it has been the most valuable company in India. On certain days, it has been more valuable than Accenture and even IBM. So I am delighted to announce the winner in this category of Tata Consultancy Services, TCS. Please give them a big hand.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd request Mr. Atul Sopti to kindly grace his podium.
As it has been mentioned, that we have finally selected 2 winners, and the second joint winner is NTPC, the Maharatna enterprise of the country. NTPC, as you know, is facing a lot of business disruptions, and they have taken a series of steps to face these disruptions. And they are, in fact, diversifying in many other areas like hydro, solar, wind, beside their conventional area of thermal. And for these diversification efforts, in fact, L&D plans for which they have been identified as the joint winner, they have been taking a lot of initiatives, just like energy charge reduction, bringing down the infrastructure development cost through analytics, and the company, which is spread all over the country, they have developed digital learning platform which allows efficient delivery of training content to a geographically dispersed and at times difficult to access the workforce. In fact, the company has measured the effectiveness of its learning and development initiatives, effectiveness through robust systems. Ladies and gentlemen, recognizing the strong business performance, diversification initiatives with progressive learning and development focus, the jury is pleased to confer the BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development in the Sustained Excellence category to NTPC. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With that, can we have a huge round of applause for our esteemed jury? Thank you, gentlemen. You may please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time where we present the BML Munjal Awards, and I would request our chief guest and guest of honor and Mr. Munjal to kindly do the honors. First and foremost, let's have a huge round of applause in the private sector private services category, the runner-up, L&T Technology Services. Can we have a round of applause for the runners-up? I would request Mr. Munjal to kindly grace the stage and join us in presenting the awards. Can we have a round of applause for sir? Congratulations to the runner-up, L&T Technology Services. Ladies and gentlemen, in the private service category, we have the winner. Please put your hands together for the winner. Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. Can we have a round of applause for the winners? The private services category. Congratulations. Congratulations. Moving on to the next category, the private manufacturing category. First and foremost, we have the runner-up, Bosch Limited. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, each runner-up and winner, they deserve a huge round of applause. Here we go, congratulations. The runners-up for private manufacturing. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the winner for private manufacturing. And the winner is Aurobindo Pharma. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, they are the winners for this category. They deserve a much bigger round of applause. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next category. The next category is PSU. In the PSU category, first we have the runner-up, ONGC Mangalore Petrochemicals. Welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations. The runners-up for PSU, ONGC Mangalore Petrochemicals. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, now moving on to the winner in the PSU category. And we have the winner, Small Industries Development Bank of India. A huge round of applause for the winners in this category. Right after this, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the next category, which is the Emerging Star. First coming, the runner-up. Can we have the family members of Zerodha? Can we have a round of applause for the runners-up? The Emerging Stars, runners-up, Zerodha. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the winner of the Emerging Star category. The winner is Square Meal Foods Private Limited. Can we have a round of applause for Square Meal Foods? Congratulations, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not the least, this is the last category, the Sustained Excellence category. And first we have the runner-up, Indian Oil Corporation. Can we have a round of applause for Indian Oil Corporation? Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to one of the first joint winners. First and foremost coming, Tata Consultancy Services. Can we have Tata Consultancy Services? Congratulations, gentlemen. They're one of the joint winners of the Sustained Excellence category. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting the second joint winner. They are the other part of the joint winner, the NTPC Limited. Can we have a round of applause for them? Joint winner in the Sustained Excellence category. Thank you, gentlemen. You may please be seated. Thank you, Mr. Sumankant Munjal. Can we have a round of applause for our dignitaries? A hearty congratulations to all the winners of the 14th BML Munjal Awards. Can we have one thunderous round of applause for all the winners? They truly deserve it. With that, now I would request our guest of honor, Shri Anand Sharma ji, Deputy Leader Congress, to kindly grace this podium and address the gathering.
Respected Pranab Mukherjee ji, Bharat Ratna and former President of India, Shri Sunil Munjal, the members of the Munjal family, the chairman and members of the jury, the award winners and runners-up across sectors, captains of industry, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank Sunil and your team for inviting me, and also to compliment you and commend you for the great initiative that you had taken when your great father was still around. I do recall vividly the past occasions when I have been here for the Mindmine Summit. I was to come and speak tomorrow. Today, as it happened, Sunil asked me last evening to change it because Captain Amrinder Singh is stuck with the floods in Punjab and he couldn't join, and I was very happy to change it from valedictory to this function and to meet the award winners. It's a great honor for me to be once again, after a long gap, sharing the dais with Pranab Mukherjee ji, who's been my elder, my senior. I had many years the privilege and the benefit of learning from him, from his knowledge and experience, and also working together with him and later in the cabinet together. In those years when there was, as you would now acknowledge, a transformative change in India. Change is something which has been integral to each one of us, to each institution and human beings. But that was a period when we were able to take forward, where we started way back in the early 90s, which was more of a compulsion at that time, to open up the Indian economy, to liberalize, and to allow Indian industry, which had gained in confidence on its own, to step out and compete with the industry leaders or the industries in other countries. We have seen in this period that in many sectors, we have proved to the world that we have the ability, we have the talent, we have the human resources and some of the finest minds. And it is acknowledged universally. All this did not happen by accident, particularly when we look at the information technology, the communications, the various applications of physics and science, particularly space science and the nuclear sciences. And that journey is very important to trace, that there was a vision, there was a commitment, that India made to itself way back when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was India's first Prime Minister and the foundations were laid in a country which was poor, deprived for a long period in our history of the institutions of excellence. When I learnt about it when I was young, all the key institutions, Indian Institutes of Technology, Management, Science, Nuclear Science, Space Science, various academies that we have in the field of art, culture, they all came up in one decade. The only National Institute of Design, at that time the only National Institute or equivalent to a mega university of science in Bangalore. It all happened. And again it happened in the first decade of this century when Dr. Manmohan Singh ji was the Prime Minister, Pranab was there, and we were there in the government. We saw a new wave. What is important is to build upon and not to be complacent. And that's exactly the initiative that you have taken, which is a constant reminder to the industry across sectors that you have to keep on innovating and adapting, without which there cannot be a permanent success. There will be challenges that will come our way. There cannot be a long period of success without any bumps or challenges. It happens. And we are seeing that phase now. And that's where the industry will have to respond to, and I have no doubt that they will. These awards which are dedicated to BML Munjal ji, who was a great leader, who believed in human talent and the richness of human resources, a self-made leader that he was. I can say it because I'm one of those who had again the privilege of engaging with him on many occasions, talking to him and learning a lot about his vision, his thinking. But that's what you believe in, and that's what today's winners have demonstrated and the runners-up. One thing only I have to say, that in a country of 1.3 billion, our entrepreneurs, our industry has a great challenge and a great responsibility. How do you empower our people, not only for sustainable growth in the industry, manufacturing, or the services side, but how you make them capable? The old days are no more there, and technology obsolescence is there in all sectors. Maybe in some sectors it's more, in some sectors it's less. With the fourth industrial revolution and the new wave of technologies that is sweeping the world, the challenges are there. We have the basic challenge of how to have a skilled labor force, how to have a vocational training which can connect to the training, but which can also connect to the changes. There are certain areas where we have to leap. We have either trained a highly skilled manpower, but at the high end, where technology development and assimilation is important, or otherwise it's just the basics. How do we find a balance with the robotics, with the 3D, and the other technologies that are coming? And that's where the industry has to show the way, but also the policy planners, the governments, the educational institutions. There are countries which have shown the way. Those who have become leaders in manufacturing sector and also in trade. We had looked when we were in government at many of those models, I do recall, and we brought those models, talking in particular to Germany, also to Sweden and some other countries, how the vocational training is important and how at the school level itself they connect and they find that what are the requirements of the industry. So there has to be a very, very close coordination and a partnership, collaboration rather, between the policy planners, those who are entrusted with the responsibility to take forward the training in skills or the vocational education, and also the industry. I will not say much because Pranab has to speak and we have to hear him. I will once again congratulate those who have won, those who are runners-up. There will be more winners in future. Our very best wishes. And we hope that given the present challenging period for the Indian economy, for that matter for the global economy, it's a downturn which we have to accept without being in denial. Then only we can ensure that we can respond effectively to sustain our growth and development, because much depends not only for the Indian industry, but for the revival of the economy, but also for the common people, the poor people, and the young. If we do not create opportunities for the youth, we always talk about our median age being 24, 25 years, and with the 1.3 billion people, what do? If we do not create those opportunities, we can have problems with the social conflict, crime, and growing restlessness amongst the youth who are aspirational. They want change. They want this country to create opportunities for them. So we have the advantage of demography. It can be a demographic dividend. And what Sunil, you would recall, I said many years ago in Davos, if we fail to do it, it could be a demographic whirlwind. So India has to prepare itself, and that's where these initiatives are important as a constant reminder to prod people, to encourage that we have to achieve it in the larger interest of our country and for the common good of our people. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, I would request our chief guest, former President of India, Honorable Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, to kindly address the gathering. Can we have a round of applause for sir?
Please recognize the Bharat Ratna, the first citizen of the country, Shri Pranab Mukherjee.
Please have your seats. Good evening, Shri Anand Sharma ji, Shri Sunil Munjal, Chairman, Hero Enterprise, members of the board, members of the jury committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed very happy to be amidst you this evening, particularly to attend the annual BML Munjal award ceremony for business excellence through learning and development. I wish to congratulate Shri Sunil Munjal and his entire team for recognizing organizations who have increasingly focused on capability building through learning and development in their areas of business. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, BML Munjal Awards are named after Padma Bhushan Shri Brij Mohan Lal Munjal, one of the most respected industrialists of our nation and a man who built Hero Group, which is the world's largest cycle maker, and Hero Motorcraft into the world's largest two-wheeler manufacturer by volume. I have had the occasion to have interaction with him several times during my days in the government when he was alive. His entire life itself was dedicated to what he believed and what he preached. I am delighted to see the legacy he created is being carried on by his successors. These days, making it through the day becomes the goal of most employees, along with taking home a salary and certain perks. Unfortunately, both employees and organizers suffer when employee goals fail to evolve beyond these two factors. We have seen this happen in government, and we are also seeing this happen in large organizations. However, this is now a changing. Jobs are no longer guaranteed. Skills are no longer guaranteed. The emergence of technology, globalization, and the service sector has dramatically influenced how the workplace functions, how the workplace thinks, and how the workplace delivers. Indeed, it has also changed the way government functions, how they think, and how they deliver. It's a fact. The automobile industry is facing a major slowdown worldwide. In the case of our country, the automotive industry was one of the fastest growing industries, as well as an important driver for the manufacturing sector, contributing around 7% to India's GDP in 2018. A slump therefore slows not only this industry, but other related sectors like tires, steel, steering manufacturers, due to the cascading effect, and not to forget the employment of people working in these areas. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is estimated, according to the various news reports, that automakers, auto part manufacturers, and dealers taken together have laid off about 350,000 workers in the last 3 months. Thus, apart from the current downturn affecting mainly the temporary and casual workforce, technological changes like automation has also necessitated restructuring, reskilling, and manpower adjustments. It is imperative that given the adverse circumstances, the industry transforms with minimal disruptions by streaming the automobile business rather than being dependent solely on government stimulus package. I noticed that a number of captains of this business are present here this evening. This day and age demands innovative process, especially when we are aware that there is policy push towards a transition to electric vehicles. I exhort each one of you to address the related problems of acquiring and developing new skill sets for those manning the novel methods, along with redeployment or recreation of new earning opportunities in the replaced workforce. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in these troubled times, those who are entering into the workforce or those who are looking to strengthen their careers must be self-evaluating, self-developing, and emotionally self-sustaining. Indeed, in times of artificial intelligence and automation, the threat of jobs and redundancy always becomes more apparent. In the new world that is evolving, the quality of learning and development that one receives plays a very important part in shaping or breaking the career of a young man and woman. When companies strategically invest in their people, they can attract and keep all the best candidates. They are also able to build a strong work culture where there is space for innovation, encouragement to find creative solutions. Having said that, it is also expected of the government to indulge the industry by hand-holding, if not by handing out doles. The 14th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development could not have been at a more appropriate time, for when companies strategically invest in their people, they can attract and keep all the best candidates as well as build a strong work culture where there is a space for innovation, encouragement to find creative solutions. I extend my congratulations to not just the winners, but all participating organizers for demonstrating business excellence through innovation in learning and development, along with consistent training, learning and development as a source of competitive advantage. These words today from a part of the Midtime Summit, I am told. The chosen theme of the year's summit was One Nation, Multiple Destinies. We hear many conversations today that we are getting stronger as a nation and we are becoming one nation. This is true, but it is also true that we live in a large and diverse country with many communities, cultures, and languages. We work and interact with so many kinds of people in our cities. People from all over the country comes to work, leading to diverse workplaces. Learning from others around us is the greatest possible learning. I believe that learning is a lifelong process and it can come from anywhere. Despite the buzz around the concept of a learning organization, I am struck by now how only a few people seem to have embraced the idea of learning from their peers. I think the single most important differences between the corporation of the 20th century and one of the 21st century lies in the approach, attitude, and treatment of human resources. Organizations must invest at all levels of skill development and not just at the top end. At a broader policy level, we also need to appreciate the people are India's biggest strength and this demographic advantage, which Anand Sharmaji have also spoken, can turn into a disadvantage without skilling and training across levels, and for this, vocational education that provides employability as per the requirement of the employers must be given preeminent place in our education ecosystem. It is our responsibility of state governments through partnerships, if necessary, to promote the value and importance of top quality vocational education and developing this form of education as an alternative to a degree-based education. Korea and Germany have created world-class workforces by giving their population the best vocational education. There is no reason why India cannot do it. Also, skill development and investment climate go hand in hand. To turn their states into magnets of skill development, it is the responsibility of the state leaderships to act as facilitators and make their states conducive to investors. At the end, I once again congratulate the winners for this year's award. For the others who were in contest but have not won, my commendations to them as well. I am sure this experience will spur them on their future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those pearls of wisdom. I would now request Shri Munjal ji to kindly present a memento to our chief guest and our guest of honor. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence. Let's have a much bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's have a huge round of applause for our chief guest and our guest of honor. Would request you to kindly join us as we have a special act which is about to begin in a short while. Ladies and gentlemen, the night is not over. We have a very special performance right here, especially for you. So please do not go anywhere. We have a 5-minute reset, and what you will experience in 5 to 10 minutes from now is truly spectacular. So please do stay back. Also keep it in mind, we have day 2 tomorrow of the Mindmine Summit. Very interesting sessions that will come. The first one on social media impact, and of course we have number of lucky draws that will be announced tomorrow. So do join us 10 a.m. morning, the second day of the Mindmine Summit. Please do not exit the hall right now as we have something really spectacular. The drinks are pretty much on right now, so do go and grab a glass.